I can tell you here on the show how the BBC seemingly waste quite a bit of the taxpayers' money with ideas, problems, ideas of stories, quiz shows, that sort of stuff that never really come to fruition. All the while, of course, they're experimenting with other people's money. Now, this particular series allegedly cost a lot of money indeed. It's all based on the former BBC employee, Sir Jimmy Savile. Now, Sir Jimmy Savile over here in the United Kingdom has really a very blemished back record, as one can imagine. So it was a bit of a shocker to find that the BBC decided to dramatise his life story, given their, shall we say, sordid association with his career and life. Now, this apparently was going to be a big style drama starring the comedian Steve Coogan, whose last big success was in the movie Stan and Ollie. That's right, playing the part of Stan Laurel in the Oliver Hardy story, Absolutely brilliant, he was great in that. Seemed a bit of a shock for him to take on this particular role. From the moment production started, it seemed to be sort of well beleaguered really. A lot of people were saying it's insensitive, trashy, and why on earth would the BBC decide to go down this particular route, as one can imagine. Now, it's cost quite a few million, as you can also imagine, not really just on the production, but also on the legalities concerning the story, because obviously, the difficulty really is about what they're saying and how can they prove it's true. Now the BBC have decided to shelve this. It was supposed to be coming out in the autumn of this year. And of course now we're into November, so they say they're looking at some point in 2023. According to a very good source though, they're hoping to kind of bury it at some stage, and here's the reason why. It's interesting, as I say, with the BBC, it's never your money, is it? So they can do exactly what they want, good or bad. But more importantly, a very good source has told me that while this Jimmy Savile drama could never really now see the light of day, they're trying to highlight the fact that it would be seen insensitive and in bad taste, given, of course, the coronation of King Charles III next May. Now, the reason behind this, allegedly, is the fact that the Prince of Wales, as he then was, enjoyed a very, shall we say, not that close relationship. Jimmy Savile was one of those people that just made sure he got pictured next to the right people in power at that right time. I never met him myself, but I actually interviewed many people who knew him, and he was very, very clever at attaching himself, say, to the British Prime Minister, members of royalty, Princess Diana, that sort of thing. These were the people that were seen as the superstars to be attached to during that particular period. So the BBC are now basically saying, well, it may prove embarrassing if we put this drama out, given the fact that the then Prince of Wales, King Charles III, had a friendship with Sir Jimmy Savile. I think what's more interesting about this is, if you dig away at the friendship, as I say, it's very transient. It's not exactly a deep and meaningful friendship. It was something that Jimmy was very clever at orchestrating. So once again, many people might suggest that the BBC are using the British monarchy as a way of, well, getting out of wasting so much money, millions in fact, on a drama of which they were advised not to do in the very first place. But once again, the monarchy comes to the rescue. Now, many people out there might say, yes, but Neil, you're a monarchist, you would say that. Of course I would. But can anybody else out there tell me an explanation as to why you go down the route of a drama and then think, guess what? Let's not forget he was pictured and claimed to have a friendship with the late and beautiful Princess Diana. He was also, of course, pictured with the then Prince Charles. If we attach it to that, perhaps people will be reminded of that, and that's the reason why we have to bury it. Either way, everybody on the production gets paid, including the lead actor Steve Coogan. But as ever, it remains to be seen whether the British taxpayer that's funded this rather sordid drama will ever get a return for their wasted money, once again, from the BBC. This is a progressive story, and as ever, when I know more, you'll know more. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.